Yes, we are back talking about that famous manosphere again. Infamous, rather. We should really describe it as infamous because it is not a good thing. And we are going to watch a video and react to it and give my 2 cents from a teacher's perspective. We are dealing with a lot of issues related to the manosphere. So I only think it's right to watch something that's on the manosphere and kind of give my reaction and see how it does play into our schools and our young men in particular. So if you watched my Manosphere video on the Louis documentary, you'll know I don't have a high opinion of it. In fact, I think a lot of it is downright horrendous, degrading, just the worst kind of humans really are buying into this, and unfortunately, it is becoming. I mean, not becoming popular, it is popular, and is affecting our society as a whole. And these guys are not in it for the young men. They're not in it to help them. They're just in it to make a profit, or that's what I believe. And it actually plays into our video that we're going to watch today. So this is Jubilee YouTube channel. It's one Anti-Manosphere versus 20 Manosphere. And it's a guy called Mark Mason. So I kind of done a bit of research on him, and he seems like he does the self-help as well. I not gonna lie, I didn't have that much time to kind of delve into him as a person and what he kind of offers. I have watched the bit we're going to watch today, so I think my opinions align a lot with what he is saying. He's trying to, I think, you'll notice he's not confrontational. He kind of laughs at some of the more terrible things that the guys say, but I think he comes at it with the right point of view, and he is, I think, going to be someone I can really kind of look towards to actually provide good advice for people in this space as well, like the young men of this world. So we're gonna watch it. We're gonna get started. I'm gonna break it up. I'm not gonna show huge clips because of like monetization and all that. So I'm just gonna find little clips that I can kind of bounce off of and then go from there. So we're gonna do a cut here, and I will see you at the first clip that we get to.
Is that the Manosphere is a billion-dollar business that profits off keeping men angry and insecure.
So I'm already back. Already back. Um, this is his first claim, and it's something that I talked about in my Manosphere video that I done the Louis documentary. These guys who are in this, who are spouting all this nonsense, they do not care. They do not care other than getting the money. That is it. They are involved in so many different ways to monetize, to make a profit off of the people that they're claiming to help. So I definitely agree with this, and going into it, we're going to see what ways he kind of talks about in which they aim to profit off their, I would call them uh, mentees, but I would actually call them victims because I think they're being duped by these lowlifes.
Please get to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
Hey, it's good to meet you.
What's up?
From the category moving out from there, we're gonna have a problem because I'm not a sexist, and so if
Okay.
you want to say that, like,
So I feel like if you have to say you're not a sexist, yeah, sounds like you might be sexist. And watch him, I'm sure, I can't remember, but I'm sure he is going to say something very sexist in the next however long he's up for. I also hate the way the format of this is. Like, they have to run up and jockey for the position. Like, it's actually very manosphere of them to make them run up and almost beat the other person, dominate the other person out the way to be like, nah, this is actually mine. So just a little tidbit there, but we're back in.
I think the manosphere are people who focus heavily on men's issues and are trying to instruct men on how to lead better lives.
So I actually don't mind his kind of open and rebuttal like kind of almost trying to, he's saying that the manosphere itself is not sexist, but there's people within it who are sexist. But I think just when you say manosphere, you automatically think of misogyny, homophobia. It's gotten to that point where it is now that, like, you associate it with that. Just the manosphere itself has those negative connotations now, and it will never go away. The minute you say manosphere, I'm going to those things. It's not bad actors within it that I would instantly go to. It's the thing as a whole is just downright bad and downright awful. I just realised bad and awful are similar, but I want a stronger word than bad, so we went with awful. But we'll go back. Like, it's not the worst point.
Hey, let me help you try to get a date. You know,
Right.
like, or let me help you
Because
try
it's
to make.
tough out there.
Yeah.
Because it's tough out there. I mean, yes, okay, maybe it is for you who clearly associates with something that I think a vast amount of people in society would consider negative and a red flag. So I assume he's talking about dating in this regard. Um, like, dating isn't easy. I'm not in no way saying that it is easy. Like, it can be really hard for people to find matches and kind of find that connection with someone. I think there's ways in today's society that have made it easier to meet people. Now, whether that leads to a date or something else, it's kind of muddied the waters with our society regarding that. So it just sounds like, it almost sounds like a cry for help. Like, oh, it's tough out there. It sounds like he's really kind of struggling. But I just don't think you get the kind of advice you want from these guys in terms of helping you date. I just don't think you do. I think the best way to understand about how you like to date is to go on dates, and what kind of person do you like, and you've got to make yourself more interesting, you've got to make yourself more appealing, and doing that is a lot of self-reflection. It's a lot of looking inward and going, what are my strengths? What do I offer? What do I bring to the table? Rather than going to someone and being like, well, they're the women are the problem, not me, not me. No, you need to look inward and be like, what is it I'm actually offering here, and why am I having such a tough time dating? Because, like, it's tough. It is tough, but just felt like a little bit of cry for help from that guy there.
And I think the good manosphere figures, I mean, you named a couple of them, whether they're good or bad, I don't want to mention the personal lives of those people, but the
So, so, so the people that were listed, like the Tate brothers, are awful. Like, I can't. He doesn't want to bring in, like, these are supposed to be role models for a young man, okay? And everything they do is going to be scrutinized, and everything they do is a reflection of the values that they're trying to teach. But you don't want to bring in their personal lives, because it clearly shows they don't value what they're actually preaching, or they are just some of the most despicable, potentially, allegedly, human beings on this planet. Like, I mean, let's bring the Tate brothers up. They are in some fucking shit with what they have been doing in the world. And if it is true, my God, they are evil. Like, there's no other word for it. They're evil human beings who have profited off the suffering of others. I'm not going to get into it because that's a whole another video. But this is where it get, like, if say I had a role model, and it's who I am kind of go to for guidance, and then I find out some of this stuff, like, potentially they've done something to someone, I'm questioning what they're preaching. I'm questioning their morals and questioning everything to do with them. I'm not just going, separate it, separate it. No, that's not what we do here. It's this is the concerning part about society, is how we can just it's like the classic like separating the art from the artist in terms of like music and stuff. So you take like Kanye West, you take like P Diddy, like I don't listen to those artists anymore because of the way they acted and what they've been accused of in society. But other people will be like, Chris Brown, a huge one, massive one. Like, how he's still a celebrity, how he's still able to make millions, it baffles me, absolutely baffles me, because people will throw the argument out, oh, we can separate the art from the artist, but I can't do that. I just don't see how that's possible. Like, you're a public figure, you need to act as a role model, and if you don't, I'm getting rid of you. And I can't believe society doesn't do this. Can't believe these people will be allowed to continue to be public figures, which is madness, absolute madness. So yeah, I disagree heavily with this point. I'm not going to go through. I realize I'm maybe cherry picking things that I kind of disagree with because look, I'm not going to argue, sit here and say like I'm an expert on this. It's my opinion as a teacher, like um what I think the influences of these men have on our young people is despicable. And if someone talks about Andrew Tate in my classroom, I'm instantly bringing up what he's been accused of. I had a conversation with a young man about Conor McGregor and how he was a role model for him. And I brought up the rape case. And automatically you could see him start to question if Conor McGregor was actually the right kind of person to have. Because I think when you have these kind of figures and you go down into the rabbit hole, nobody's questioning it. So you just get it in your head like these people are great, they're giving me such good advice. And you stay in that hole where everyone thinks they're great, but to have it questioned by someone and to have it rationally put in front of you what actually are these people, then I think you could start to see and potentially move the young people away from these types of role models and into and it's all about giving them other role models, like giving them role models at school, like in their community, something that they can actually go towards. So, uh, yeah, I don't agree with what he's saying about not talking about their personal lives.
Right? Get your life together. Go to the gym. Take care of yourself. Like work
Amen.
on
Yes,
yourself.
sir.
Right? Like these are all great things.
Completely, like that. See if that's all it was. If that's all it was, there wouldn't be this whole thing around them. Like it's good advice. Like I owe a lot. I owe so much to the gym, and I owe a lot to sport. And I feel like I would not be the person I am today without those things. So me becoming a PE teacher is to inspire young people to get into those types of things that I think will help them because I saw so much benefit from one being in sports teams, being sporty, but also the gym. Like I was such when I was younger, I was so nervous, I was anxious, I was so body conscious it was unreal. Started going to the gym, really, really grew in confidence, um, grew, I think my personality grew with it. Just it just redefined me as a person and allowed me to go on and be the person I am today, which I hope I am a decent person at the very least. So, like all that advice, yeah, definitely, 100%, absolutely. If someone's telling you to go to the gym, absolutely, like you should be go to the gym. Like I always preach, like to my young people, about how important fitness is and how important fitness is at that young age. Studies have shown that if you are active when you are a child and in teenage years, you are more likely to be more active as an adult. So I always bring that up. I always try and stress how good sport is. And doesn't even like fitness isn't sport. You just need to keep doing it. You just need to be in something. Like keep exercising, keep going to the sports team, be in a dance club, whatever suits you, go and do it because it is great and you gain so much from it. There's obviously the other side of that that can be quite dangerous, but I think the way I do it is quite a healthy way of doing it, and like I'm quite aware that yes, sport can lead to, other negative connotations. Fitness can lead to the other side of getting kind of becoming obsessed with it, really hyper analyzing your body. So yes, I understand those things, and I think that's why me as a teacher, like I'll always kind of look out for those signs, always kind of give the advice to the young people and like explain like what is actually going on and what is the purpose of it. So yeah, good advice.
Toxic
But that
packaging
doesn't go
attached to it.
viral. People don't see it. The media
Totally.
suppresses it. The environment, if you want to get the message out, you have to go extreme. And I wish we did.
So this is the first I think point I really agree with him on. I think it is. I think he was going to go on and say he doesn't agree with it, and I don't agree with it either. Like, I think we live in a society which is based on views and clicks rather than good, solid foundational advice. Like, you need to be in this day and age on social media a little bit out there. If I not even a little bit out there, the more out there you are, the higher chance you have of going viral or getting your name out there. When that is just that's so poor. When you think about that, when you think about how people have to act to be seen in today's world online, it is worrying. It is worrying because you wonder where is the line going to stop? Like, where is the line going to stop? One person ups another person. That then inspires another person to go more. So yeah, I definitely agree with what he's saying. Like the idea that um in order to be successful on the internet, in order to be successful on social media and affect the young people of today, you need to be out there and you need to be really doing some mad stuff, which yeah, worrying.
It's the people who are feeling extreme worthlessness are looking for someone to teach them what to do.
You don't see that same correlation show up in other.
So there you go. Piece of evidence presented where the people who consume manosphere content are more likely to feel negative emotions. And the key one there was mental. They don't care so much about their mental health and they self-isolate, which that's just so worrying. Like to self-isolate yourself and then consume this media is dangerous. It is dangerous, and it is going to create some, I think, real problems in the future. Real problems. Because, like, we're already living in a society where people socializing is going down and isolation is going up because it's easy. It's easy to stay in and stay online all day because you're safe. You've got that kind of the barrier with the internet to yourself, to your true self. So you can be anyone you want on the internet. You can be whoever you want. So yeah, it's really worrying those statistics actually when they came up and just highlights another negative impact that the manosphere is having. They think that they are raising the self-esteem of these young men when actually they're doing the opposite according to this study.
And you need to grow up and you need to get strong. And so the
And the
correlation
matrix
is
is
just
holding you
backwards.
down, and it's
Well,
not.
it is. We just agreed that elementary schools are trying to oppress men at the age of 7.
Is that the matrix?
Yeah, I was wondering when the Matrix would come up. Brainwashing on show. Right, look, there's obviously some things that are clearly out with our control, and there's clearly powers that be who want things to stay the way they are. Not what this guy, I think, goes on to say is left-wing universities who want to see women at the top of everything. It's not that. It's it's capitalism. Like it's the 1% who are quite happy taking all of our money and keeping things the way they are, and they have these matrix people, these red pill people have convinced these people that this matrix is against them, it's against men, you know, they're holding us down, they want to see us in the dirt, they want it's ridiculous. And basically the matrix, this grand plan to destroy men is a load of crap, basically. Definitely, it's the men are more than happy with what is happening in the world right now, and they've created this narrative to ensure they have an army of men who will fight for them to keep it that way. So
Said that you should be angry is the correct package because
All right, we
I'm
got a
angry
pause
about
there.
it.
You've been voted out by the majority.
So I don't know how they actually get voted out. I assume if enough people have like maybe he's losing the argument, they feel like he's losing the argument. Like he didn't come across as the worst. I think some of the points he was making was like obviously fell really flat. I think we agree on I think the internet and how you need to be pretty radical to be noticed on the internet nowadays, which was rebutted by Mark. That there is people out there who aren't like that and still get millions of views. So, but I feel like he then comes back with a good point about like, but they're not the most talked about, and they're not who young people in particular. That is the key thing. They're not who young people are going towards. Young people are going towards these more extreme, these more crazy guys, and yeah, they kind of finish off there talking about the like the advice within the manosphere can be good, but it's wrapped up in this, you know, package of philosophy where, you know, it's not about self-help and helping yourself. It's about overthrowing the system that's against you, which is complete nonsense. So yeah, I like he didn't come across too bad, but I think definitely he's still a walking red flag. Don't go near him. Like I think yeah, don't go near him. I think he just we wouldn't get on, put it that way. But again, you don't need to like what they had there was a nice honest debate about their feelings, and there was no shouting, there was no anger. It was just, it felt like a warm communication. It felt like a good dialogue, I think. That's what society is missing nowadays. We're going to get another one up, so let's see what they bring to the table.
Nice to meet
Hey,
you.
how are you doing?
Yeah, I hate that format of them running up to the chair. Gives me the ick. Like, I already have the ick with this guy. Do you see his little run across it? It was, it's quite funny. Anyway,
Do you believe that the current situation for young men is approximately the same as, 15, 20 years ago? Or
No.
Right, I was going to try and beat Mark in there. Yeah, I mean, I completely. This is a good. It's actually a great opening question. From I think his name's Will. Like yeah, it's not the same. There is still um there is still that pressure on the man to be the breadwinner, but it's in a very different way. And society, I think, values things very differently to how it was when I was growing up. Like your social media presence, your likes, like the likes you get online, the followers, like they're all, you know, a way that people measure success in society now. I don't know why that did that work there? We'll go, that's where people measure success in society without the air quotes. See if that works. Um, so 100% it is completely different. Young men, um, like they feel like they are being attacked because of these people. They feel like there's a lack of, I know what I'm trying to say, I just can't say it. Lack of opportunities, lack of guidance, lack of um, places for them to end up. Like motivation, I think, is very tough nowadays. It's very easy to access like porn and stuff. So sex is now very different, perceived very different to how it was back then. So I think, yeah, 100%. There's a lot. in the society that is very different to what is going on, and it's affecting men negatively, young men in particular. You know, mental health, the social isolation that we talked about, the kind of incel culture. These kind of things are very prevalent, and it is having a very negative effect on our young men.
Is the society becoming more difficult for men to navigate and creating more incels that are already frustrated, and then they see this content on YouTube saying, you should be doing this and that, and this is really what women think,
Yeah.
and that resonates.
Will's do Will's doing a good job of asking the questions here. I think the manosphere is certainly helping and certainly fueling that fire towards the kind of anti-woman like rhetoric that we see within it. I don't think if that existed, like there would be such a negativity towards women in society. Like I think um you look throughout history, like women have always been sexualized, always been objectified, and this is just a new version of it. It's becoming a more extreme version of it. It's becoming heightened with social media. It's becoming heightened with, as I said, the amount of access that young men have to porn nowadays. And I believe that that is what the manosphere is playing off of. It's seen a little spark of maybe like the incel culture and was like, we can tap into this and make money off it, which, yeah, I think is what it is happily stepping in and doing, while at the same time advancing this rhetoric, advancing this anti-feminist rhetoric throughout society. See what Mark has to say, because I've actually not brought him into it a lot.
We have so many devices, so many screens bombarding us with distractions all the time. It wouldn't surprise me if young men are more susceptible to that sort of distraction and that dopamine treadmill than young women.
So would
Okay,
you?
we got to pause there. You've been voted out.
Okay.
It's just getting good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Mark, I think, has nailed it on the head. Like, I mean, the way he described it is obviously way more um, professional the way I describe it, but like he talked about devices. Like we've seen the shift in young people, both men and women, and girls and boys, where their attention span is next to nothing, and that makes a lot of things more difficult to focus on. And he talks about men lose interest a lot easier. Could you imagine being in that, already having that kind of more psychological tendencies, and then adding a smartphone, adding a gaming device, adding all these distractions within your life that make you go, ah, well, I'm just going to focus on them because they give me the kind of the feelings that I want to feel. And young people in schools today, like we need to ban phones. We need to get phones away from kids because they are having such a detrimental effect in education and in society. And I 100% think that this is one of the reasons why the manosphere exists, is because of these, one, the actual distractions themselves, but two, the content as well. Like some of the stuff that is kind of on the internet now that young people can get access to is madness. It is absolute madness how these young, some like 8, 9, 10 year olds are accessing sexualized content. And you're wondering why men aren't having sex. You're wondering why they are so socially anxious about talking to women because they've been, brought up on all this stuff, and it is just having such a terrible effect. I was gonna go. I was going to think of a better word there, but I couldn't muster up the mind power. Actually, like I thought, Will was actually all right. I think he was asking. I think he was curious. I think he was genuinely asking some good questions, and that's what I don't like about this format, because I think he was actually asking and almost not like he was obviously trying to quiz Mark and maybe get something that he can go, but this, but he actually genuinely was asking some really good questions, and I would like to have seen him more. I wouldn't have put up my flag for him, but the people on the outside were like, well, he's clearly losing the argument, so we're going to tag someone else in. So, yeah, I didn't like that. I thought Will was doing a good job asking some really good questions. He might not have liked the answer, but I think it provided Mark the platform for him to rebuttal and give some really good points that I agree with as well. Next person to the table.
Could you give me an example?
Well, the body count example.
But can you understand how there is a correlation between being willing to take a lot of dick from a lot of different people and not thinking highly of yourself?
Okay, we're getting into the weeds here now. The body count argument, like I don't care. Like I've never cared what the person I'm with's body count has ever been. I've only asked it when I've been asked myself. I think it's something that is comes across as really insecure from a man if he is worried about his partner or who he's dating's body count. Because automatically, if he hears a lot, he's going to be, if he's insecure, he's going to be comparing himself to those people. And that is going to put him off, which doesn't, it doesn't matter. Like, it just does not matter what a person's body count is, whether you're a straight male, whether you are a straight female, it does not care, it doesn't matter. And this is where, and the next prompt that Mark talks about goes into body count, so I'm not going to get too much into it here because I'll talk about it more there. But yeah, this guy's not coming across great, I'm not going to lie. He's went way off what the actual claim was and is just talking about um, women's value based on their body count. So the quicker he gets off the table, the better.
Also, taking dick is a little bit worse than giving it.
Why?
All right, we got to pause there. You've been voted out. Reminder, we want to stay focused on the prompt, the current prompt.
Yeah, I think he lasted like a minute. Like, I was going to make a joke there. Maybe I should make the joke. Let me do it again. Yeah, he lasted a minute. Probably about half the time he lasts in bed. Nailed it. Nailed it. Sorry. I mean, I didn't like this guy. This guy just came across as really weird and really creepy and just wanted to talk about uh, girls and how they shouldn't be taking dick, which is not what we were talking about. Yeah, so glad that the actual people on the outside were like, yeah, let's get him out of here because he is not coming across well. And he sprinted up to that chair. He was ready. Oh my God. Right. I think we've only got, I think, 3 minutes left. So let's see what they bring. Let's see what they bring to the table.
Are you familiar with the red pill, blue pill philosophy?
This is probably one of the worst things that the Manosphere has done. I love The Matrix. One of my favorite films growing up. Like, that scene is so iconic, the red and the blue pill. And they have taken that rhetoric and made it so toxic that it just ruins the. It doesn't ruin the Matrix for me. I'm being hyperbolic there, but yeah, it just takes something from my childhood and yeah, it puts a sinister twist on it, which I don't like. I don't like that.
In that, and I do believe in the Matrix. You know what I mean? And you're stuck in this rat race.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you don't want to be part of that. And
Yeah.
then I've been actually like a quote unquote like red pill. I really take that philosophy to heart.
So I actually think Mauro here is actually coming across pretty well. I think I think he does. He's one of these people who definitely feels like the system's there to oppress him, and I can understand that feeling. I definitely can. So like we kind of talked about like it earlier, but yeah, I can see how that can become. But like we talked about young men, that kind of feeling of like there being no opportunities for them, like they feel like society's definitely like shifting away from like the men's strengths into more the female strengths. So definitely can understand him coming across this way. And like I've spoken to young people who feel the same. Like they feel the same way. They feel like there's like what they're going to do is maybe not what they want to actually do because they don't feel like the the system in place is designed to help them. And especially with young men, they feel like when they leave school, like there's very little opportunities for them. This is just a handful of pupils that I've kind of had these conversations with. So I can see where Miles coming from. This is where the Manosphere is so good at getting in these young men because they give them that guidance, they give them something to strive for, and they give them a purpose. That's the word I've been looking for this whole bloody time. A purpose. Young men's purpose in life at the minute, they're unsure of it because there's no defining goal. Like years ago, if you were a young man, you would go into an industry, an electrician, joiner, welder, whatever it was back in the day. Whereas now, those systems are being replaced by robots and stuff like that. So we talk about the kind of careers that are coming up nowadays. They're not as suited for men in terms of if you take what Mark is saying, the kind of psychological profile of a man compared to a woman, it seems like women's jobs are becoming more prevalent in society for and that's why we're seeing that kind of disconnect with the young men. So we'll go back to Mauro. We've only got I think a minute left, so we'll see what he has to say. Hopefully nothing um too outrageous.
Earth, actually, the devil controls it, and he's the one. Actually, I
All
definitely
right,
do believe.
now you lost me.
I don't.
Mauro, you were doing so well. Oh, not so well, but you were definitely coming across as the best one, and then you had to go and say that. You had to go and say that. Oh, now we're bringing religion into it. Oh, devil controls us. Devil controls it. I mean, I'm not religious. I don't believe there is a God. Don't believe there's any gods. I again, it just it's it's just not an argument like to say that the devil control because what is the devil? Like there's so many different ways you could go down. Like, oh, Myro, what happened? What happened? Yeah, not much more to say other than, yeah, no, I disagree. I disagree with this. Myro didn't get a lot. He lost me at the devil, but I think he actually was coming across pretty well up until that point. Yeah, poor Myro. Will's still the best. He was actually, and he was I think he was building up to something and he didn't get the chance to do it. I hope we see him again and I hope I'm not wrong about him because I think he's genuinely interested in what Mark has to say and he's genuinely interested in a conversation and he's not going to say something like the devil is controlling the land. I hope. Right, we've got a minute left. One last guy, so or woman because there is women on this panel, believe it or not. So let's see what they got.
So when you say $1 billion industry, can you give me some examples where they're making money from?
I think this is the first guy to actually bring it back to the point. Did the first guy do this? Yeah, well, I feel like we've not talked about what the actual prompt is or the claim is. Um, so yeah, this is kind of what I talked about, like Mark's going to go on to talk about like the sports betting stuff, the OnlyFans stuff, all the ways that these guys make money and how they profit off people who are in vulnerable positions, I believe. I believe that's what they do. They sucker in these young men, young women, men, whoever, and they give them, what they'll say is good advice, and like we've agreed that it can be good advice, but it's packaged in this rhetoric of anti-feminism, like almost well, some of it is borderline woman hate, and they will not oh, the word was there. It was right on the tip of my tongue. Um, um, they'll be hypocrites. That was the word. They'll show hypocrisy by by talking about porn and how just damaging it is, while at the same time managing OnlyFans models. So they don't care. They just don't care about what they're actually doing. They only care about getting the money off you and bringing it back to them, profiting off anything they can in this industry.
We say
I would say 90% of it's good, 10% of it's bad, and
Okay.
you don't have to take all 100%. Everyone has self-agency, so if you can't decipher what's good and bad from someone, not to be rude, but unfortunately you're just low IQ because you could just take simple stuff that's just good.
So I actually think Daniel was doing okay here. He was providing some points that I think Mark was had to kind of admit that he'd not done the course, which I think like you should have some understanding of it if you're going to talk about it. But he then rebuttals with like it's public information. Like I don't need to do it because I've seen it. So I actually think he was doing okay. I think he was kind of talking about it pretty well, and I think he's the first one to actually kind of not attack Mark, but like give him something to think about. And then we get to the low IQ point of this, and yeah, he lost me. Big time. Because if you trust someone, if you see someone as your role model, and they are providing you with courses, that's not low IQ. That's you trusting an individual. It's the way teaching works. The best teachers can gain the trust of people, and then you see them learning more. You see them gaining, you see them becoming more engaged with your lessons, becoming more engaged with the content of those lessons. It's not because they're low IQ and you've duped them into, um, tricked them into being a part of the lesson. They want to be a part of the lesson because they like you as a person. They like what you're offering and what you're bringing to the table. The same way with the courses. If you like the person that you're following and they offer you a course, you're going to do it because you like the person. And then that's where you can have the self-agency and be like, well, is this actually what is worth? But to say that you're low IQ, I think is a very poor argument. I think it's very simple-minded, ironically, coming from Daniel, because I think it makes it black and white. Like you're either smart enough to realize like this is for you and it's what you want, or you're not. I think when you have a personality like the Tate brothers, who are quite charismatic, they clearly are good at garnering a following, and they have these courses, then it becomes a bit grey. It becomes people wanting to do them because they like them and they want to maybe support them or they want to get better. They like the advice they've been given. So yeah, you lost me, Daniel. You lost me. So we're almost done. Almost done.
Okay,
All right, pause there. We're out of time.
got it. Cool. Thank you.
Quick, I want to do a quick poll. Raise your flag if you think Andrew Tate is a good influence. Raise it high so we could count.
Net positive.
No, up, down. Raise your flag if you think clavicular is a positive influence. I'm not sure that is. That's okay. Then don't raise it. Raise your flag if you think Nick Fuentes is a positive influence.
Right. So I actually liked that from the host at the end there, and it actually was quite heartening. Like in these 20 people who are clearly indebted and they are deep in the manosphere circle, they're deep in it, they're deep in the matrix. There was actually like what 5 of them who said that Andrew Tate was a good influence. That Clavicular, there was less. Some people didn't even know who he was. Nick Fuentes, I don't actually know who that is. I'll need to maybe look him up because he was actually seemed to be one of the more popular ones. But yeah, this took a wee bit longer than I thought. I'm not gonna lie. When I saw it was 20-minute sections, I was like, great, I can do a couple videos today. No, I'm recording this one and I'll edit it and I'll put it up because yeah, it was a lot. I think Mark comes across really well. He's not confrontational. He explains his points really well, and I think he is making the people here feel comfortable to kind of talk about how they feel, and I think he's making some really good points. The people that have come up, worst guy was the guy we paused on there. Can't remember his name. He just came across as really creepy. Will, want to see more of Will because I'm backing my boy Will into thinking that he's got someone who can come out of this a better person towards the end. Watch me eat my words because I think he's maybe going to come out. He was building up to something. He was asking the right questions and then he just never got there. Daniel at the end was actually probably the biggest challenge in the debate for Mark. He was speaking with purpose, and he was making points that you could convey, convey, convey. What word am I trying to say? Convey? No. Well, I've lost the brain power. Sorry. That you could think of as being good points. That he convey. That's the word, convey. Oh my God, conveyed good points. It could come across as good points. Anyway, what do you think? Have you agreed on what I've kind of talked about here with the Manosphere? Do you think, do you agree with my points? Do you agree with me, Mark? Or are you on the Manosphere side? Like, I want debates like this. I want more debates like this because I think they're healthy. I think it's good, regardless of what's being discussed. I think the way that's going about it, and maybe not the format of the 20 people, but the actual once they sit down at the table, I think it's a good way of presenting arguments. It's not confrontational, it's not angry, it's not emotional. It's just them having a conversation, and I think it's really well done. So we'll get into the next one because the next one's about body count, and I've watched half of it, and oh, the the sexism is off the charts. I'm not gonna lie, it is absolutely ridiculous. It was the way they are describing female bodies and the way the analogies they're using are disgusting. It's just downright disgusting. So, with all that being said, all said to say is any thoughts, comments, general hostile remarks, leave them below. Thank you very much. Bye bye.